creepy and cool TikToks that will blow your mind. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
1561 is the first time they've documented and told a story, painted, and pretty much said all of these eyewitnesses saw an event happening in the sky. There was a war in the sky, and that's what they said. They said there was war in the sky, but they couldn't, I guess, comprehend what was going on. All they said was there were shapes, rectangles, circles, squares, crosses, floating and hitting each other and exploding. And there was one specific shape in the sky that was there was shape of like an arrow, like this. You see this?
Yeah.
And they said it would stay still in the sky while all of this was happening. Also, while all of this was happening, certain shapes, once they were hit or once they were done moving, they would fall from the sky and drop into the village and explode. Now check this out. Where are all those artifacts though? That's a thing.
Buried in the ground?
I don't know. That's the only thing. Like, where are all these artifacts?
It's in the Vatican. Just trust me, bro.
This is 14-year-old Kalea Turner, and after more than a year of being bullied at school, she attempted to end her own life. She died for 8 minutes before paramedics were able to revive her. However, she suffered severe brain damage and remained in a coma for weeks. And according to a new lawsuit filed this month by the girl's family, while Kalea was in a coma, one of the bullies allegedly made their way inside the ICU and took multiple photos of her while incubated and posted these pictures on social media, spreading rumors about her injuries. The parents claim that the school failed to protect her, failed to intervene, and didn't take proper action even after the bullying was reported multiple times. And because Kalea has been left with potentially permanent disabilities, they are now suing the district and faculty to cover Kalea's medical bills. The parents lost wages while taking care of her, her disability care, and much more. The school has denied the allegations and claimed that its staff took the appropriate steps when dealing with any bullying incidents.
The fact that they went into her IC room is so beyond comprehension. The police need to be involved.
How many bodies did you recover?
There were no bodies. No tissue residue. Not even DNA could be recovered from the site.
Don't fucking stop! So in your opinion, could this have been a bear?
No, absolutely not.
This began March 13th of 1997 during the single most controversial UFO sighting in North America.
In 1997, you took part in one of the largest military cover-ups in the United States
It's a
history.
movie.
That's correct.
And this involved a direct engagement with extraterrestrial craft.
Congress doesn't even know if this happened.
It would eventually become known as the Phoenix Lights.
And as a result of this operation, 4 civilian men became collateral damage.
The government would explain this away as a military operation, but a man who was a part of that operation would provide footage that showed a different story.
Okay, we've got 4 civilians heading in 230. Multiple contacts north of their position. Turn left.
It would also show the fate of 4 men who went missing that same night.
We could see him on scope. There was nothing else we could do for him. It was the worst thing I've ever seen.
This one is called The Phoenix Incident. It is an awesome mockumentary-style horror film, and if you would like to watch it for yourself, take that onto Google and have at it.
Congress just got caught.
What is this movie on? Anybody know? Please drop a comment.
Yeah, but for
Even El Chapo wasn't guarded this much. You know, I would be more concerned about the man who can stand outside the boat.
people in the US, they're just so obsessed with their iPhones. I understand, I used to be an iPhone user as well. It's a great product. Lately though, I think iPhones have gotten a bit boring. I think each generation is just a little bit different from the previous one. And the sad part is I think Apple now is kind of kicking back and just using their lock-in effect to do business. By lock-in effect, I mean iMessage, I mean AirDrop, I mean iCloud. Because you're already so bought into their ecosystem, it's just really hard to get away. I think it's a problem. I think it's kind of anti-competitive. It stifles innovation. So hopefully somebody does something about this.
What? You know, sometimes we are reaching a little too far, don't you think?
Luigi Mangioni's new federal charges now carry the possibility of the death penalty. In one day, Luigi participated in 3 separate court hearings across 2 states, was transported in several cars, a plane, and a helicopter, was extradited to New York, where he was perp-walked by so many officers that they indirectly created what the internet is now calling the hardest picture of the year. He was indicted on 11 state charges in New York, but also federal charges of stalking and first-degree murder as an act of terrorism. And those federal charges are significant because they carry the possibility of the death penalty. That's a sentencing option that is not allowed with his state charges in New York because they abolished capital punishment in 2004. Federal charges, however, often come into play when an offense crosses state lines or has national implications, and they also can lead to severe penalties. Luigi's defense commented on those federal charges, calling them highly unusual and that they raise serious constitutional concerns. And then to round out the longest day in his life, he was taken to a New York prison notorious for its poor living conditions. In recent years, it's seen multiple deaths, violence, suicide, staff shortages, and its cells have housed people like Diddy, R. Kelly, Ghislaine Maxwell, Sam Bankman-Fried, and now Luigi Mangione.
It shows who the government really care about. Rich CEOs.
Look closely at this photo from 1813. It's the city of Krakow in southern Poland, flooded. But this flooding is not normal. It can happen after a hurricane or cyclone, but much bigger. Take a look at the surrounded building that is half submerged. The flooding has been so bad that other nearby buildings are almost completely submerged. So what could have caused this flood in 1813? It was caused by the Great Flood of 1802 following a 600-foot tsunami. And the photograph shows the waters receding 11 years later, and the buildings that were underwater beginning to appear on top. Some have doubts, saying that the camera was invented in 1839, how they photographed the flood of 1813. Well, the camera was invented long ago during the Tartars, and after Tartaria was decimated, destroyed by the Great Flood of 1802, the camera was just reintroduced by parts that control the world today. So the photo in question was taken from the roof of another building, or more likely, from a flying object, for example, a balloon, which was used a lot at the time, and of an individual who survived the Great Flood and had a camera with them.
Let me know how you feel about this.
Have you ever seen someone with dead eyes? I need your thoughts and opinions on this, but here's what Robert Greene says.
Deep narcissists have dead eyes. They almost can't help it. They can fake the smile, they can fake everything else, but the eyes, you have to be able to read it because you say, well, what are dead eyes? You'll know it when you see it. They're like looking through you. They're not looking at you, they're looking through you. What can I get of you? You're what they call a self-object. They're an object for you to use. And that's how they're looking at you, like they would look at a hammer.
Okay, now obviously he's talking about dead eyes within context of like narcissists, because I think a lot of different groups are grouped into what dead eyes are. The ones that this is referring to can also sometimes be called shark eyes. I understand there's different eye shapes, I understand there's groups who don't make a lot of eye contact or people that like to disassociate. I understand that there's trauma that can be associated with eyes. None of those things mean that these people are narcissists. What's fascinating to me is when you take in the dark tetrad of personality types. Psychopaths, sadists, narcissists, Machiavellians. They can mask most things, but they cannot mask their eyes all the time. And when you've seen the dead eyes I'm talking about, you know it. But anytime I talk about eyes that creep me out, this one comes to mind.
Oh, yeah. Now, thank you, Lord. Help me. Just let me pray.
Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did.
Ooh.
We wrestle not with flesh and blood.
So, have you seen dead eyes? Do you believe this? Or is Robert Greene making broad over generalizations?
You know, people get dead eyes and neutral eyes mixed up. The eyes, Chico, the eyes, they never lie. Ooh. AI is getting good. Look at that. Oh.
NASA just discovered a parallel universe next to ours that runs backwards in time. What the did you just say to me? Yeah, so they discovered it in Antarctica, and they have an antenna that scans cosmic particles, and they discovered that they're running backwards in this specific place. What the heck are cosmic particles? Cosmic particles usually travel downwards from space, like they come down, but these were coming up from the Earth. These cosmic particles were coming up from the Earth. So basically that is completely against all physics that we know of. Dr. Gorham from the University of Hawaii is the main researcher, and he said that he theorizes that these particles are just transforming to bypass Earth's dense matter. Okay, I don't understand science, so you gotta explain it to me differently than that. Basically, there's something very different about this area of Antarctica, and they don't know what it is, but the particles are definitely reacting in a way that are completely opposing what we know about modern physics, and they're trying to figure it out because they're witnessing it happening over and over again. Okay, but does he know how this would have happened? His most straightforward explanation theory is that when the Big Bang happened, it created two universes where one is opposite of ours, and everyone in the anti-universe might think that we are the ones that are in reverse. So there could be a totally other civilization living our life backwards. Are we there? At this point it's still a theory because they can't say for sure that there's a multiverse. However, they don't know what else it is. This is one of the possibilities. I mean, that's true. We don't really know that much, so there could be another explanation that we just don't know yet.
Negative time is apparently a thing now too. Quantum physics is fascinating.
Not even possible. How did they know that Mars was the red planet, and why was it a worldwide fact? That Saturn had rings. Yeah. Based upon what information? Because nobody worldwide is disagreeing. This is that thing that you see that all the Anunnaki guys have that look like a wristwatch, and they always have it, and you're always trying to see what that is.
Yeah, what is that?
It is it's a compass. It's a time-keeping compass. And the emerald tablets of Thoth are literally mind-changing and mind-blowing. It's given in first person, and that's not possible. The things that are being said are impossible. Enough time has passed, though, that it's not like that. He literally says, hey, there's a spaceship on Earth, and this is where it is. Because everybody in Egypt knew it. None of those people are saying, hey, I came up with this. The more you know, the more you know how little you know.
I'm beginning to fear this Cat Williams. He knows too much.
Holy cow, this is so mind-blowing that my head actually hurts. In Antarctica, NASA has just discovered what might be a parallel universe where time flows backwards. Here's the wild part. They weren't even looking for this. They just had their NASA balloon out in Antarctica in the crystal clear air searching for cosmic particles. And then something impossible happened, literally impossible, that defies the laws of physics as we know them. So there are these high energy particles called tau neutrinos, and typically they come down from space. But what they discovered is that these things were actually coming up from Earth, like watching water flow uphill, something that, again, breaks the laws of physics as we know them. But scientists apparently are like, but maybe they aren't moving upwards. Maybe instead they're moving backwards through time. And apparently the simplest and most logical explanation for this is that it's a parallel universe that was born at the same time ours was during the Big Bang. But here's the kicker. In that universe, if you dropped your phone, it would unshatter and go back in your hand. If you spilled your coffee, it would flow backwards into the cup. Basically take everything we know about time and flip it and reverse it. Now, somewhere in this mirror universe, there could be beings looking at us saying, these guys are living life backwards. This is an absolutely insane discovery. I just hope it's not like the Upside Down and we've opened some parallel door.
No one questions why NASA is in Antarctica.
I don't think the Roman Empire fell. I think it became a church. I think the Rome fell, but the Roman Empire became the church. Where's all the money from the Roman Empire? The Vatican. In the basement of the Vatican. Yeah. So Roman Empire became a church. British Empire became a bank.
Hence, like they said, we are witnessing the fall of the Roman Empire, but not many people can understand that. I'm lost on this one, not gonna lie.
You know this video is 10 times scarier when you know what giraffes sound like? Giraffes make noise, it's just nothing you'd ever expect, or maybe you would. People be having the wrong idea. I think they see the face card, the lashes, and the fact friends Ross played one and y'all think it's sweet. Well, imagine a homicidal inflatable salesman and that's how they settle disputes. They could top golf your torso if they wanted to. And they have dinner plates for feet and they're sharp, meaning if they kick you in the right spot, they could punch your head like a field goal. They're so dangerous, I'm not gonna show it, but there's a compilation of mother giraffes trying to defend their babies only to accidentally delete it themselves by kicking it to death. So yeah, giraffes are a high-stepping sleeper build and they sound like one too. Ooh, that's a concussion. You see, we used to think this walking chimney was like the G in lasagna, silent, and science said it was because their necks were too long for airflow to reach their vocal cords. Scientists recorded thousands of hours of audio over the course of 8 years to hear what the raft really says. Turns out they say a lot, we just weren't listening.
Wow.
Yeah, imagine hearing that and seeing this. One theory is that it's like infrasound and helps them keep track of each other in darkness. They also think because it sounds so much like ritual chanting that it's literally them just humming themselves to sleep. When you think of it like that, it's not that bad. But it doesn't make it sound any less like Jurassic Park. The more you know.
It makes me cry each
Giraffe sounds like a dinosaur, so cool.
time I talk about it. A friend of mine, she told me that the week before, she had a really, really hard week. And I said, why didn't you call me? She says, I did, I reached out. So of course I pull out my phone and I scroll up and I look for her text. And sure enough, it says, hey, what are you doing? Want to come over? I'm like, you mean these texts? The one that sound like every other text you've ever sent me ever? I'm like, how do I know that that's a cry for help? She had read an article that all human beings need is 8 minutes of time from another friend to feel not alone in a moment of stress, in a moment of need. And so she and I came up with a code word that the next time one of us really needs the other person, our code would be, do you have 8 minutes? Anyone can step out of a meeting for 8 minutes. You won't solve your friend's problems. It only takes 8 minutes for them to feel like they're dealing with whatever they're dealing, not alone. And this is the power of friendship.
I give my friends 8 minutes. You got my word. You know, store owners of Canada should be able to do what's necessary to protect their stores. Wow. I truly believe in the Lord our Christ Savior, but I need to ask, how do they really know that's the birthplace? What's in the pineapple that kills them? Because I thought they like sugar.
I finally understand why Asians fully shit on Australian shopping malls, because I'm in Indonesia right now and look at this. Yo, this is crazy. And I've been like walking for hours and I haven't even made it to the other side, let alone some of the other levels. Like, Jakarta is insane.
You ain't seen nothing yet. Wait until you go to Pakuwon Mall in Surabaya, Indonesia. Like 3 times bigger than that, maybe 4 times.
So according to NASA, this is the first ever audio recording of Mars. But the interesting thing about it is this video got 15 million views, but then it got mysteriously taken down. Many people were speculating that the reason why the video got taken down was because there were too many people in the comment section saying that the photo in the video was actually from Devon Island up by Canada, and that NASA had just taken photos there and then color graded them and then claimed they were actually on the planet Mars. That NASA had faked the whole mission and instead just sent a rover up to Devon Island to take some fake photos. And to be honest, I lost my faith in NASA after this guy said that they lost the technology to be able to go back to the moon. How does that even happen? And unfortunately, if you go deep down enough into this rabbit hole, you'll likely find out that space probably isn't real and that there isn't actually anywhere to go explore and that we're kind of trapped here. So what does Elon really mean when he says we need to occupy Mars? Maybe Elon actually wants to go to Antarctica and see if there's an opening in the ice wall to find the real Mars.
He talks about the ayahuasca on that show.
Yeah.
And he like shows how they make it and like what it does. And like, it's literally 2 elements. It's the ayahuasca root and then this leaf. And either or, if you took it by themselves, wouldn't do anything. It's only combining them that you get the full DMT trip. So like, how were they taught that? They were told that the person, it was a lady, like Mother of God. That's what they like basically call her. She came and showed the people how to make this. So when she left, it would be the way that they could communicate with her.
Oh no.
And he talks about these entities that teach the people things when they take this ayahuasca.
Yeah. And I guarantee one of the things that you have to reject is God.
Which goes further down the thing of like the Watchers, and like they taught root cutting, and like, why did they teach root cutting and all that stuff? And it's like, because I fully believe that there is a realm that you can access by taking like DMT and stuff like that.
So is there a connection, a way to communicate through every work that they taught?
Oh yeah, that would be interesting.
Under the Earth, there are 7 more planets that are discs.
What?
Yeah.
7 flat worlds?
Pretty much. I'm the only one who can show you from astrology, from the Bible, and from the East, and from all traditions, how they all syncretize and concur that the Earth is a stationary horizontal planet. You have to do it like that. If you don't do it like that, you can't do it properly. You can't just have one angle. You can't just say, oh, all the scientific experiments that have been conducted prove, George Airy, James Bradley, Sunyak, Michelson Morley, they all prove that the Earth is stationary, and that's your one angle. You can't just have one angle. I'm coming from the Jewish tradition. I'm coming from Bhagavad Gita. I'm showing how the Bible proves it with great etymological proofs, and no one else is doing that. I do that and all the other angles.
Is this a dimension? Are we living in an energy force that has multiple layers?
You know the Kabbalistic tree, right? There it is there, the 10 Sephiroth, your 10 fingers. There's Ketha, and there's Malkuth, the earth. So is it a dimension? Yes, it is. But it's all these things, from Ketha to earth, which is ether to earther, same word. So if you're asking, what's the earth? Well, it's just ether in a gross, more solidified form.
I'm not allowed to say certain things, but this is how they hide everything. So, if you want to understand what you are, where we are...
This whole CIA document is just absolutely wild. There was this remote viewer. His task was to look up where the Galactic Federation headquarters is at. And he talks about the surroundings. It's on our world. There's these huge mountains, and then there's a giant lake. The guy says it seems a lot like Lake Titicaca in Peru. He entered this chamber, and in the middle of this room was this altar. And all of a sudden, from above, there was this white light, and there was a group of entities in white robes. He said it seemed very spiritual. He didn't know how to describe it. In 2000, Italian archaeologists discovered at the bottom of Lake Titicaca was this ancient temple that really matched up with this CIA document. It's also the highest lake in the world.
What is the significance to that?
The Bible talks about how God was jealous for the attention of his people, or even just defending his own glory. So if there was this fallen angel civilization high in the mountains that like were above destruction, for like God to flood it and be like, you're not beyond my reach.
Oh gosh.
So interesting.
Hollywood is evil.
Tell me why.
No, just listen. I love you.
Has it always been, or is it now?
Always. Literally, the flight you brought me on, I watched Jerry Maguire.
One of my all-time favorites.
They don't make them like that anymore, Patrick. Why? Because Hollywood controls the content. What's Hollywood about now? Wait, because I did this on Jamie Kennedy, I got in trouble. Jamie Kennedy said, you're wrong. Hollywood is not elitist. Hollywood does not have a small club that it feeds itself and they make Barbie and MCU. And that's it. They want the money. The machine of Hollywood wants the money, not the art, not the quality film like Jerry Maguire. They don't want that. They used to. Patrick, I'm done with that. I'm done. Hollywood is going to die in the next 20 years because of that. It will, because people don't care. They're already getting right to their phone what they want. What's always worked is great movies, and we're not doing that anymore.
Isn't this Justin Bieber's father-in-law?
7 ways to stimulate your stem cells. Let's start with number 1. If you can fast for 72 hours, you can in a major way boost certain stem cells. Number 2, exercise. Exercise stimulates stem cells for your muscles and your brain. Number 3, deep quality sleep. When you're sleeping, you're increasing melatonin. Melatonin increases the stem cells for your brain. Number 4, green tea has the potential to increase stem cells for your brain and for your liver. Number 5, omega-3 fatty acids has the ability to increase stem cell for bone, cartilage, brain, and skin. Number 6, both the sun and especially vitamin D will increase stem cells. And then number 7, cold therapy. Being in the cold stimulates brown fat stem cell.
Wow.
Did you know what's going on with Chandler?
Did he leave?
Yeah, he left, and guess what he's doing now? Yeah, I know. He's doing praise and worship.
Praise,
yeah, he
praise
is.
the
And
Lord.
I feel like, so remember how you told me, this is my own theory. So remember how you told me, when you get closer to God or you're in that circle of like temptation.
Yeah. It gets harder.
Yeah, and it wouldn't trigger you. It wouldn't like go after you, but also your boys that you come up with, right? Look around what happened in Mr. Beast's group. Just tell me, is that not weird that everyone changed? So Chandler, he was going on TikTok and I saw one of his lives and he said, when I was going through a lot of depression, when I was going through this whole YouTube stuff with all the money, he was smoking in his room. And he said that when he was walking around, he heard God said, "What are you doing?"
Damn.
And he said the peels were like taken off his eyes and he can finally see what he was doing. And after that, he was like, yo, he got baptized, he beat the drug addiction, like everything was good now. And that's when he left.
On Christmas Eve, the Pope will be live streaming the opening of St. Peter's tomb. But people are calling it Lucifer's tomb. This is St. Peter. This is the sacred tomb of St. Peter in the Basilica di San Pietro. We've all heard the news about the Pope opening the 5 sacred portals. Technically they're doors, but they're calling them portals. And the never-before performed ritual that Pope Francis is going to perform is opening the 5th door, because usually every 25 years for the Jubilee, they open up these 4 doors. They do this ritual that has been going on for centuries. But this year, they're doing something special. They're opening up the 5th door. Now, I'm not sure why people are saying that they're opening the tomb of Lucifer. But to my knowledge, there is no such thing as a tomb of Lucifer. He is an immortal. But the ritual that they will be doing is unsealing, opening the tomb of St. Peter. This is the actual Basilica di San Pietro at the Vatican City. Vatican City is a tiny state within Rome. Vatican was built on a necropolis, meaning it's a cemetery underneath it. So as you can see, there's this huge balcony and people will look into it. Down there is where the tombs are, or to better say, where the entrance of the grottos are. Let me show you the way and bring you all the way to the catacombe. This is the cupola of San Pietro, St. Peter. In fact, if you look at the mosaic inside of the little window, that is supposed to be him. This is a beautiful mosaico inside of the cupola with St. Peter's image. So once we bypass this, we're on our way to the corridors of the grotto, of the catacombe. This is underneath the altar at the Basilica of San Pietro. Look at all the ancient Roman artifacts here. This is untouched. This is amazing. And the public cannot go here, but you can walk by it on your way to the grotto. Just looking at this image, you can feel the history. The luxury and magnificence of this place. There are no words. You have no idea. I'm talking about 15th century royalty. The entire basilica is amazing. And here we have the actual stone tomb that will be opened, live streaming it on Christmas Eve. Celebration will begin at 7 p.m. Roman time. I believe Italy is 6 hours ahead. The event will be broadcasted on live stream on digital platforms of the Vatican News. New webcams are being installed at the Basilica of San Pietro for this event. The Vatican's YouTube channel, they will be live streaming this so that the faithful from home can pray as if they were there. The webcam will be placed beneath what is now the literal altar of the Basilica of San Pietro. And this will provide a view of inside the tomb. Just kind of eerie, if you ask me. And for those of you that don't know, St. Peter was one of the 12 apostles of Jesus and the first pope. He was also crucified as Jesus. Listen to this. Per his request, he wanted to be nailed to the cross upside down. There's this thing that they're saying, oh, it's probably because he didn't think he was worthy to pass away the same way Jesus did. Others believe that this is where the myth of St. Peter being Lucifer comes from. Again, just a myth. I'm not saying it's true absolutely. But a lot of people are calling this the opening of the tomb of Lucifer, which is impossible because Lucifer never passed away. He's an immortal. This is what's behind the myth of that and why people are saying it. Sure to follow because I will be live streaming the live stream from Rome that.
What is the use of opening the tomb and do a ritual? What's the benefits of viewing the dead?
I can prove to you that the earth don't rotate. Did you know that the pyramids, the 3 pyramids over there, I believe it's in Giza, they're in line with Orion's belt. I believe it is. The 3 stars that they're in line with, I believe is Orion's belt. Now, I might be wrong, but my point is they're perfectly in line with 3 stars. They always have been. They always will be. Now, do you really think the universe is expanding? The earth is spinning, and then we're orbiting the sun while spinning, and then our galaxy is traveling away from other galaxies. Guys, those stars have been perfectly aligned with those pyramids because the earth don't move. You got to get that in your head.
He actually has a point. Can anyone top his theory? Can prove this guy wrong? Feel free to comment a reply if this challenges you. Oh. All right. I'm gonna try it.
Machu Picchu wasn't perched on a mountaintop. It floated, its stonework powered by shimmering Incan sun technology. Golden mirrors harnessed sunlight, lifting the city into the air, where it thrived above the clouds. When Spanish forces neared, the Incas enacted their plan. The entire city rose higher, vanishing into the heavens. Now it orbits Earth, its terraces and temples intact, casting fleeting shadows on the land below. A legend turned silent sentinel among the stars.
Vision, I saw China and Russia united for battle. I saw numerous horses, a great army. The army was so huge that I could not see its end. The 2 armies are now united. So China was on the left wearing red armor. And I also saw them like a red dragon with flame coming out from the dragon's mouth. While the Russian army was on the right, the army of horses and soldiers were facing Europe. The front horses were posed for battle. I saw Putin lifting his right hand, giving the order for battle. In Western Europe, I saw the flags of NATO and the European Union. I also witnessed the Antichrist rising from NATO and the European Union. The Antichrist will have a military background, emerging from the European Union with connection to NATO. I also saw someone resembling a professional killer, like an ISIS fighter, with a long knife from the Middle East, dressed in black with a black face covering, standing with the Antichrist, ready to slaughter God's children. And in a vision, I experienced the most disturbing sight. I saw a massive pile of God's children who had been slaughtered. They were not just beheaded, they were cut in half, brutally slain, naked, piled up. I saw so much blood, and the entire vision made me feel nauseated. Just witnessing it in the vision, imagine how God feels. I know that God is mourning over his children. Do not be deceived. Please get ready. Prepare for the rapture. You cannot be left behind and end up in the hands of the Antichrist. God is warning you. Many oppose and argue that God's children will not be left behind. This is incorrect, and do not take the chance. At the time of the rapture, Jesus is coming for his bride. His bride, those who prepare themselves and love him and have an intimate relationship with him, who wait for him, who expect him, who turn from sin. Yes, you have to turn. I received many comments on my last video arguing that everyone sins and Jesus will take you no matter what. Listen, you do not sin. You turn from sin. I'm not saying that you never fall short or get impatient or angry. We are not perfect. We don't steal. We don't lie. We don't live in sexual sin or adultery. We don't curse and party with the word, drink or get drunk, and be disobedient to God. We do not do that. If you love the Lord, you turn from sin. You turn the other way. Jesus himself said, go and sin no more. And yes, we do need Holy Spirit. We need help from Holy Spirit to live and keep living without sin, to turn from sin. We need the power of the Holy Spirit. And we have to be intentional. We have to seek the Lord. And we have to please the Lord. Because if we love Him, we want to please Him. If we love Him, we turn from sin.
If you show women a map of their local area and ask them to say which streets they would not want to walk down alone late at night, they highlight those streets, they map on perfectly to actual rates of crime. And these women know nothing about this. They're not familiar with local police statistics or whatever. It's just vibes. They just feel unsafe in these areas. Those vibes are actually really accurate, surprisingly so. I think this is true for women, but not for men, as far as I know.
Wow. Vibe. I agree.
If you want to succeed, your new mindset has to be, if it doesn't make you happier, healthier, wealthier, or a better person, it's not just a no, it is a hell no.
Where did all these children come from? Between 1854 and 1929, over 200,000 children were sent across the United States on so-called orphan trains. The official story says it was a humanitarian effort, but something doesn't add up. How is it possible for there to have been so many orphans at the same time? Some suggest these children weren't orphans at all, but were deliberately taken from their families. Many were poor immigrants, separated from their roots to erase their cultural identities. But the most chilling theory goes even further. What if these children were the last remnants of a lost civilization?
No.
This is where Tartaria comes into play, a supposedly advanced civilization erased from our history. According to this theory, the orphan trains didn't just redistribute children, they dismantled the final connections to this mysterious past. Were these children victims of a cruel system, or were they something more, the last witnesses to a world we were never meant to remember? Perhaps the answers lie in records we will never be allowed to see.
Ambivert. Ambivert is in between introvert and extrovert. And research shows that more than 80% of people are probably ambiverted, not introverted or extroverted. So introverts get energy from being alone. Extroverts get energy from being with people. Ambiverts get energy around being the right people in the right situations. So for example, in this interview, I love one-on-one conversations. I feel myself. But if we were to go to a loud bar or a nightclub, I would completely shut down and want to be alone. Ambiverts can dial up extroversion to hit their goals. So if they know they have to be friendly and meet people for an interview or a position, they can do it. But they need lots of recharge time. The reason why it's important to know if you're an ambivert is because you should know what are the people and places that drain you. There are certain people, when you open your calendar and you look at it and you're like, oh, I have to be with that person. That is someone that drains you. They do not bring out your extroversion or your natural love of people. There are also certain people who you feel you could talk to for hours. They give you social energy. They charge your social battery. So the very first thing I have students do is sit and make a list. Who are the people who give you energy, who charge you up? Who are the people who take from you? Those are people that we want to put boundaries around, we want to say no to, we want to limit as much as possible. And then also the places. Where do you thrive? Is it conferences, one-on-one business, or is it friends, socializing, parties? Knowing those places helps you optimize your social balance.
Jay-Z just took the gloves off on Tony Busby, and he might be fucking finished after this. What? Somebody about to lose their life. This done turned into some Biggie and Tupac shit, and I don't like it. I ain't never seen no shit like this. So y'all know Tony Busby and Jay-Z been going back and forth, doing like a heavyweight fight, right? As y'all know, these motherfuckers is going at it. Jay-Z don't like Busby, Busby don't like him, and it done took a dark ass turn. Now, Rock Nation done fired back. I didn't know what was going on when I saw Rock Nation posted something about saying that Tony Busby client is saying that he gave her a STD. Then I looked and that shit hit TMZ. Tony Busby sued for allegedly giving woman an STD. So I'm like, what the hell happened? This is what happened. Tony Busby might be finished after this. Jay-Z and Rock Nation ain't playing. So they're saying that a woman said Tony Busby met her in Houston. He convinced her to go on a date, and they went to see a performance, and then they ended up going to a 5-star hotel, and they did the Diddy, you know, bow bow. Then the woman said the next day she felt uncomfortable in her groin area and had to go to the doctor.
What?
Doctor said she had an STD. She immediately contacted Busby, and then Busby act like it was no big deal. As you can see right here, she said he seemed unsurprised, and she claims he already knew he had it. Then the woman goes on to say Busby asked her not to tell nobody and offered her free legal advice. Then Busby manipulated her, all allegedly, and tried to invite her on trips to Panama and shit like that. Busby fired back on his Instagram saying it was a smear campaign and said that the lawyer demanded $20 million for him or they was gonna come forward with this shit. And he also posted sunlight is the best disinfectant. And then in true super petty form, Rock Nation said God is behind that sunlight you keep referencing. We are not the source of every sunlight that you get, but rock sunshine is coming your way, Mr. 1800, whatever that means. And that ain't even it. Then on top of all that, Rock Nation is saying that they were hacked with that message.
What?
That applies straight to Busby. Y'all go to my podcast, The Flow Show No Filter. I'm going in on this subject. This shit getting crazy. Somebody might lose their life behind this shit. I'm out.
Jay-Z about to realize that money doesn't buy, everything.
Breaking news, an American pastor named Will Duffy took 4 of the most prominent flat earth conspiracy theorists to Antarctica to prove the earth is a globe in a final experiment, but then this happened.
I'll turn it over to the flat earthers. Who would like to go first? One of the most popular flat earth YouTube channels. Sometimes you are wrong in life, and I thought that there was no 24-hour sun. In fact, I was pretty sure of it. But I respect Will Duffy for being a stand-up guy, at least in the way that he kept saying it was true. I kept saying it wasn't. Whoa! He said, "You want to go? I'll take you," and brought me here. And it's a fact. The sun does circle you in the south. So what does that mean? You guys are gonna have to figure that out yourself. I realize that I'll be called a shill for just saying that.
Join me on Discord to talk about it.
People are continually judging you based on the appearance that you project out there. And so you can do one of two things. You can let them decide who you are by how they perceive you, or you can actually create the impression that you want. I call it creating an aura that you craft. You are like an actor in this world, and powerful people are actually excellent actors. Every one of you out there has an aura, and when you enter into an office, you enter into a world, people are reading that aura off of you, and they're either reading weakness or they're reading power. And so you want to create an aura that excites, intrigues, and even intimidates people to some degree.
I just want to be authentic. Their judgment is their problem.
Solomon, when God said, "What do you want?" He said, "I want wisdom." He says, "I'm going to give you all the wisdom." And Solomon was the one that built the temple. Was he given maybe not that technology, but the wisdom to create these mega structures, putting these giant blocks into place? Because the Temple Mount, they have these huge stones.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think there's two ways to look at this. The secret societies that we see now, the Masons, the Illuminati, they are charged with carrying this sacred knowledge. Solomon himself strayed into the mystery school space. He was trying to acquire all of this knowledge. And at that point in time, the ideas of the mystery schools of Babylon were actually real things. An interesting concept here. Did he get some of that knowledge when he asked for wisdom? Yeah. Or did he acquire some of that knowledge through the mystery schools of Babylon? Because this is supposed to be, according to them, take it what it is, but they're supposed to hold secrets, pre-flood secrets that were passed down because they ascribe their, quote, theology or their mantra stuff to what essentially lines up as either a Nephilim or a watcher angel. These are these people that had these ideas of construction.
Pre-flood secrets must be mind-boggling.
For some reason, it's okay to say that you're single and looking for a soulmate. I want to normalize wanting adult friendships. I want to normalize people being able to say, I'm lonely and I'm looking for a best friend. If you are lonely and you're looking for a best friend, you are not alone. And it is okay that we as adults have trouble making friends. In fact, I think that we have to begin to talk about it so that we can find our people, find the right people, and begin to build friendships as adults.
So you mean these aren't aliens at all? They're actually humans?
Oh, yes.
Humans from another dimension or something?
Exactly. Rays, just like the aliens you see in the movies, big heads, massive black eyes. But here's the twist. They're not from space. They're from a parallel Earth. A version of Earth that destroyed itself so completely they had to go underground to survive. And over time, they mutated. Bigger eyes for the darkness, frailer bodies because, well, no sunlight. Evolution kicked in, but not in the way you'd think.
Wait, a parallel Earth? How does that even connect to us?
Technology. Advanced beyond what we can imagine. They found a way to tunnel into other dimensions. Parallel realities. Realities like ours where humans are still intact, still viable. You see, they're cloning experiments to save their people. They failed. Their DNA degraded over generations. They were dying out. So they looked to us, harvesting DNA through what we call abductions. Not for fun, for survival.
And the hybrids, like the ones people claim to have seen?
Bingo. Hybrids designed to preserve their civilization. But here's where it gets wild. These hybrids, they're not just surviving. They're reaching back to us, sharing knowledge, warnings. They don't want us to repeat their mistakes, to destroy our Earth like they did theirs. That's the deal. Our DNA for their warnings.
Dude is smoking something really heavy.
You know what I mean? Like, even if I'm at the Diddy party, I'm there to tell.
Usher goes to church.
I don't have shit to do with Puffy, so y'all just sell all this.
Yeah, right.
It's a setup.
Jay-Z says that he is not friends with Diddy. Y'all know that Diddy is about to be mad about this because Jay-Z's lawyer is saying that Jay-Z has not had a friendship or a bond with Diddy at all.
Jay-Z and Beyonce era is coming to an end.
So if your houseplants are capable of sensing telepathic communication and participating in telepathic communication, it's been shown that if you have houseplants that have been in your life for even a few months, if you put EEGs on those and then you send the person who takes care of those out of the house, send them some distance away, the moment they come within 2,000 meters or 2 kilometers from the home, the plants all perk up. They can feel the person coming from 2 kilometers away.
What?
And so if plants are that sentient, that they are that connected, even in a pot in your house, totally disconnected seemingly from nature, if that thing is feeling 2 kilometers of space and then waiting for the excitement of being like, the person who loves me, the person who planted me is coming back. How phenomenal. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
Great. Now I gotta feel guilty about my houseplants being lonely.
This man accidentally left a trail camera in the forest, and what he was able to capture was absolutely terrifying. On the first picture, you could see a bear, but a few hours later, he was able to capture this terrifying picture with this bizarre-looking creature in the back. The next picture is the most chilling one, a more terrifying photo that leaves behind more questions. What do you guys think?
Accidentally? You people think we 10, huh?
I can't watch modern day movies. I can't do it because they're not about entertainment anymore. It's straight psyops. I did some time in a psychological operations unit. I understand what goes into these things. Movies nowadays are not entertainment. It is pure propaganda, and it is pushing very clear agendas which are predominantly anti-masculine, anti-feminine, anti-traditional values, anti-faith, pro-deviancy, pro-sexual agendas being pushed on kids. Movies nowadays are straight propaganda. They're not in my house for that reason. It's so blatant.
Watch the new 2024 movie Wicked. Then you realize what he's saying is true.
Physically held a key that opened every single door in the facility. I had complete access to every compartment they manufactured. Christchurch, New Zealand.
Direct energy system is what the US government used on Hawaii, allegedly.
Look closely at this grainy photograph from 1911. What do you see? Clearly a disc-shaped object in the sky, and this individual here pointing up at it. Now, I don't know what it is, but don't tell me it's a balloon or a bird. This photo was snapped by an American in 1911 in the streets of Tianjin in northern China and acquired by a Japanese soldier during World War II in 1942. Today, we have objects flying all over New Jersey, and now it's spreading to other areas of the country. But perhaps it's a phenomenon that's happened throughout history. Look at this painting called The Miracle of the Snow from the early 15th century. Okay, maybe those are clouds. Or how about this one, The Annunciation with Saint Immedius from 1486, or this one, the Madonna with Saint Giovannino, again from the 15th century. Now, this artist studied under Rembrandt and drew what you see here in 1710 to depict Jesus' baptism. What do you think that is? These are all original, unaltered paintings from the Renaissance and later period artists. But you know what? Maybe that's just an European painter's imagination, okay? Now, this is a Chinese drawing from the late Qing dynasty that described what happened on the evening of September 28th, 1892 at around 8 p.m. in the city of Nanjing. You see hundreds of people gathered on a bridge watching a slow-moving round object drift across the sky. Those people remind me of me, watching drone TikTok live streams of these objects late at night and then going outside and looking up at the sky. And finally, the most famous one from long, long ago, in 1561 on April 14th, a German artist named Hans Glaser produced this report on what he painted and described as an aerial battle. Yes, a battle between objects shaped like globes and even Christian crosses. Now, we don't have that in New Jersey, but I would pay to see that. And the point is, everyone, if these folks from so long ago survived these phenomena, chances are you and I will be okay too. The aliens aren't taking you anywhere. The rent is still due first of the month. We'll be all right.
It's so interesting how all throughout history people have seen the same thing, yet the government doesn't want to talk about it. You know what? I think they're preparing us for Project Bluebeam since the beginning.
In the medieval ages, there were no toothbrushes, perfumes, deodorants, or even toilet paper. People would throw their human waste out of palace windows. On festive days, the palace kitchen could prepare a banquet for 1,500 people, with no hygiene whatsoever. In today's movies, we often see people from that era fanning themselves. This wasn't because of the heat, but due to the foul smell they emitted. Skirts were designed to contain the odor of intimate areas, as hygiene was almost non-existent. Bathing was uncommon due to the cold and the lack of running water. Only the nobility had servants to fan them, dissipating the body and mouth odors, while also keeping insects away. In the Middle Ages, most weddings took place in June at the start of summer. This was because the first bath of the year was taken in May, so by June people still had a somewhat tolerable smell. However, as some odors began to appear, brides would carry bouquets of flowers close to their bodies to mask the stench. This is where the tradition of the bridal bouquet comes from.
No way. Okay, so the rich were dirty and the poor knew about rivers? And how you gonna walk around with poops in your pants?
The ability to detach yourself from your own emotions is extremely important in life. It doesn't mean that you become a cold, rational person at all. I don't believe in that at all. Emotions are extremely important for us. It's what makes us creative. It's what feeds our imagination, gives us drive. But the ability that you can gain over your life in this instant and in every other instant to have a degree of detachment, it's only a matter of degree, where you can stand back and you feel something very powerfully. You feel attracted to something or a person. You feel excited or repulsed, and to not react and to step back and analyze and go, why am I feeling this right now? Is it because of what somebody is saying right now? Or does it go deeper to that? Is it related to some other issue? That is a skill that is not easy, but you can develop it day by day by day, taking little steps.
You know, I wouldn't call that emotional detachments. It's more like regulation.
I cannot believe they caught this on camera. This man pulled out a wrench on this street preacher, and the guy in the middle steps in between to stop anything from happening. This is crazy.
Leg be whole now. I command all lingering pain to get out right now in Jesus' mighty name. Be completely healed in Jesus' name. Amen. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord.
Hallelujah.
Continued work. It's what? A blessing. Yeah. Amen.
What the f*** you coming at me for? What are you coming at me for? Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. What are you coming at me for? Do it.
I just thank the Lord that man stepped in to stop whatever was about to happen.
You know, how can you be mad about someone praying healing for someone else? And who walks around with a wrench?
The Pope is about to open the holy doors, family. Some call it portals and others call them holy doors. But the fact is that the ritual is going to start. This Jubilee came in existence in the year 1300, and the ceremony has no source in the Bible or Christian theology. Let's talk about the Vatican's Jubilee year. The Vatican's Jubilee year is a profound event in the Catholic tradition, marked by ritual symbolism and a call for spiritual renewal. And it starts on December 24, family. Look, family, they already destroyed the wall to reveal the key. The key inside this box will open the holy door of St. Peter. But look at the video, family. And do not forget, family, next year is a 9. And if you go to Kemetic app in the article Angel Numbers and Numerology, we will see that 9 stands for completion, purpose, and enlightenment. Signals the end of a cycle and the beginning of something new. Read the article here yourself.
In fact, that is open during Christmas.